All right, third grade. So right back at it with Unit 11, Lesson 8, and let's just quickly review these vocabulary words that we just went over. So we know that volume is the amount of space within a three-dimensional object. An estimation, if you're estimating, you're making a prediction or an approximation of a quantity. A liter and a milliliter are units of measurement for liquid volume. So whenever you hear milliliters or liters, you're talking about liquid, measuring liquid. And then 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. And then as I told you before, a milliliter is about the size of a full eyedropper. So what we are going to do is go to the teacher input and model. So it's my turn, and you are going to go ahead and watch. And we are going to measure the liquid volume in the beaker. So if we look here, we know that my liquid is filled up to here. And I want to know, well, how many milliliters is that? And with this problem, we can zoom in. You can see that our liquid volume, it doesn't tell us exactly how much it is. So we need to kind of use a strategy to figure this out. And I can see that where my dashes are, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are, I count up 5 times before I get to my next milliliter mark. And so I can count by 5s here, right? I think that would be a nice place to start. So 5 milliliters, 10, 15, 20, 25, so far so good. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, okay? So I would color in my milliliters up to this line, and I can see that I am right at the 35 milliliter mark. So this beaker is filled up. The volume is 35 milliliters, okay? So with we have to do some interval counting, okay? Just like when we were doing different graphs and you had to figure out what these intervals were worth. Well, these intervals were each 5 milliliter intervals, okay? For the next problem, we are doing the same thing, estimating the liquid volume in this beaker, okay? This one doesn't even have dashes, and so that is why this question is asking us to estimate. It's asking us to come up with a prediction or an approximation. So a guess that seems the most correct for this one, okay? So let's look here. We do have to do, like I just said, some rounding. So this is 10 milliliters, 50, 100 milliliters, okay? Well, I know that right in between, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, that's my 50 mark. Okay, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, my 100 mark. Okay, so I can look at this and I can think, well, if I added my own dashes in and I counted by 10 milliliters, 10 milliliter intervals, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 60 is right below my volume line. So I would probably estimate that my liquid, my volume, is about 65 milliliters, okay? So what we have to do is put a symbol to show about. So this is our about symbol. So whenever you're estimating, I know I've showed you guys the symbol before, estimating or rounding, you want to use this symbol, which means about, okay? So your job today is to do the structure guided practice, and then you only have 2 final check for understandings. Let's go through one of the structure guided practices together. So we're going to measure the liquid volume in this beaker. And once again, let's see. Let's count by 5s again and see if that's the correct interval. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So what is the liquid volume of our beaker filled up to here? I want you to hold on and I want you to think for a second. And you should get 15 milliliters, okay? And number 2, you're estimating the liquid volume because it doesn't have those tick marks that tells you exactly what it is, right? So if you look here, our volume is somewhere in between 50 and 500. How are you gonna figure that out? Can you count by 50s and make your own tick marks that are equal right? Remember, if we're making tick marks that are equal, that's like a fraction, so they need to be the same distance from one another. And then don't forget to put your about sign. Okay, so you want to make your best guess. What would be right in the middle of 50 and 500? And then your volume line is a little bit before. Okay, so have fun doing this, and maybe as a challenge you can go around your house finding the volume of different objects that contain liquid.